morning. Good morning. Yes, this is a beautiful morning. This is a Saturday. And I hope you are home with friends and family and loved ones on this dope content what we're about to give up right now, which is really, really important for us, our mind, body, and soul, to stay on point, to keep our heads on the swivel, you know, and it's to uplift us and to basically bring knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to us, to stop becoming someone else's bag. And what I mean by becoming someone else's bag is to end up in these plantations, in these concentration camps called jail and prison, right? They get 80 grand off you every year. To house you, they get 80 grand. It's probably even more, right? These plantations and prisons and jail systems, right? They are funded and housed, right, by those of us that's living this murder death way of life, which is really, really important for us to bring knowledge, wisdom, understanding to us. And I need for you to understand that and for me to understand that. We're going to stop becoming people bags. And at this time, we know that the government is shut down, that everything that's going on. So being that this shut down, it's promotion time. It's promotion without being promotion. Do you understand that? And what's in promotion, we're sitting there, it's for you and I to react on what? Doing crime so we can enter these plantations and become a bag of 80 grand, being in jail for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and so on and so on. You and your crew. This is an actually true fact. And I don't want you to fall into it. I don't want me to fall into it. And anybody can fall into it. You could be tricked into these places. I'm telling you, dead serious. And what's sitting behind this is this murder, death, kill, barbaric devil demon. And you got people that promote it. You got people that promote it. They get it bad to promote these places inside their rap songs, inside their platforms. And I'm telling you, the true self. Even though they saying that, you know, I recommend that you don't do this, but it's promotion. It's promotion. You know, either they doing it subconsciously or not subconsciously. So I want us to understand that. I want us to be conscious that these places and these concentration camps is not a correction. You don't need to go into correction to correct anything that's going on in your life. You don't need to end up in these plantations that call so-called corrections to correct situations that's going on in your life. You can make it out here. You can make it happen out here, beloved. And this is an actually true fact, and I want you to understand that. So I'm going to show a video of myself, and I'm going to show another clipping of a well-known rapper, basically, you know. And big shout out to him for even going to see those brothers that was tricked out of their freedom for whatever reason, whatever cause. You understand? And sometimes, you know, I know that you got to do what you have to do. If somebody mess with your family or somebody mess with yourself, and you have to protect yourself, right? Which this should be the last result of us ending up in these plantations of our freedom being taken away from us and being tricked out of. Most of us was tricked into this, saying that this is part of gangster, being a gangster. This ain't gangster. What's being gangster is you being out here and control your mind, body, and soul, and control your movement and motion and making it happen for yourself and your loved ones and your family. Not being in these plantation and concentration camps, walking around the yard with state greens on. You know, trying to figure it out, wishing and praying that you was this ant that you see on the floor, that you was that worm, and that you was that bird in the sky that you see flying, and wish that you was free, and that you would hit with 10 years, 15 years above your head. This is an actually true fact. And this entity is the one that set you up. This entity is the one that backdoor you. This is an actual true fact. Thank you so much. I love you also. I love you also. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and please get the information out amongst us. You know, these things is not being talked about. Look what's going on the internet. Look what's going on these major platforms. Look what's going on. People talking about, you know, I caught bodies, you know, I beat bodies and all of this other stuff. You understand what I'm saying? You know, and these things shouldn't be talked about on these major platforms because our loved ones and children and future are watching us. All of this stuff is based on what? Views, likes, shares, and subscribe. This is what this is based on. You know? And any and everybody can kill themselves and get murdered based on this right here of each individual on here are fighting each other. I don't know. Maybe this is a plan. Maybe this is a plan. Maybe this is a, you know, for them to be going at each other, for the views to go up, for the shares to go up, for the likes to show up, you know, for the subscribers to go up. Who knows? Who knows? I'm not, you know, I don't really dibble and dabble into this stuff because all I know is self-genocide, right? And it's promoting ignorance and wrong information towards our children and loved ones after we are fighting to uplift us as the indigenous descendants of this world. And I know and understand that there's certain things that we must air out in order to lift each other up. We must air out our dirty laundry. But let's do it behind closed doors. But nobody's not going to do that. They're going to do it on these major platforms where they can get views and shares and likes and become popular and become famous. You understand what I'm saying? While leading the masses of our youth down a dark path. And the ultimate thing is this entity, the entity, which is our enemy. Ultimately, which is the enemy of what? Of ABEL descendants. Peace and blessings be upon him. This is actually true facts. And I need for us to understand that. So I'm going to share a little bit a video of myself that yesterday I was driving. You know what I mean? I was in Brooklyn yesterday, pull up in Brooklyn. I love Brooklyn. I love Brooklyn. I love Brooklyn. Brooklyn is my second coming home, and I love Brooklyn. That's right. I love you. And I know you love me right back. Straight up, I love Brooklyn. Energies over there is different. If Brooklynites feeling you, they feeling you, and they love you. They go all the way. I'm just letting you know straight up like that. So, but, you know, I was crossing into Brooklyn, and then I happened to see this correctional bus. The boldest, which is Rikers Island. It's a process of you catching these cases and catching bids. You're going to be in Rikers Island for 3 to 4 years. You know, it depends on your crime. You stay there. You fighting your case, fighting your case. Then if you convicted, then, you know, if you convicted of this crime, you cop out or you blow trap, then you go upstate. You walk in the state green, then that's another thing that you're going through. It's a process of you becoming a slave, meaning physically, mentally, spiritually. Why would you want to get yourself corrected inside correction where it doesn't correct you? 9 times out of 10, it doesn't correct you. It doesn't. Why should I go to jail to correct myself out here in society? To see and smell the coffee? No. I'm not going to these plantations. I'm not going to these concentration camps, jail, and prisons to correct myself. I have the opportunity out here to correct myself out here in society. Even if I have to get on public assistance, even if I have to get on food stamps, even if I have to go into homeless shelters, I'm going to do it because this is my choice and this is my freedom. Even if I have to sleep on the street, even if I have to pick up cans, put my pride to the side for my freedom that doesn't have a price. Nothing is amount to your freedom out here in this existence, which is actual. The brother said, what are your options on black culture in America? I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into that. My option First of all, first and foremost, we are not black. I'm about to get off the topic. We are not black. We are not African Americans, and we didn't come here from Africa at all. We didn't come from Africa. We didn't come here on no chains, and we wasn't slaves. We've been over here in America since the beginning of the creation of mankind. This is an actual fact. We never left. We've always been here in this land. We always been here. Always been here. Africa and all them other places is the second coming of mankind. With Noah, peace and blessing be upon him, with his sons, Shem, and Japheth. They repopulated the earth. That's the second coming of mankind. We are the first coming of mankind over here. This is an actual true fact. So I need for us to understand that. Do not call each other these titles, because these titles are beneath us. You know what I'm saying? We are called the Uply God Right One. We didn't have no language. We talked telepathically to the Alpha Omega, the Creator, the Almighty, and we used telekinesis. And we talk telepathically to each other. And sign language is the first language of mankind. Do you understand that? And that was our language over here in the West, which we call America. This is an actual true fact. Hold on 1 second. Who is it? So, this is the actual true fact, you know? And I need for us to understand this. That we are not black. We are not any of those titles. Moors, Egyptian. We are our own civilization over here in America. We are our own civilization, which is really, really important, right? And I know it's very, very hard, but that's why I keep talking about it. I keep talking about it, because it's really, really important amongst us to know exactly who we are as people, as a civilization, right? These titles are beneath us. They are beneath us. And I know it's really, really hard, difficult, because we've been indoctrinated, right, all our lives, and being taught that we are this and that we are slaves, and we came over here on chains, Atlantic slave trade and everything else. And I want you to understand that this is false. It's a false narrative, okay? It's a false narrative on who we are. Yes, this is a false narrative on who you are, on who we are. This is why it's really, really important for me to keep talking about who we are and breaking down who we are. The indigenous descendants of the ancient ancestors over here in America are the first people in creation. We are the first people in creation. You know what I mean? Meaning as human beings. Human beings. Out of all the human beings, we are the first. And the ancient one over here in America. They found bones dating back since the existence of mankind. Do you understand that? And there's different parts, because the earth was together. The earth was together. And it split after what? After the flood of Noah. This is an actually true fact. And these are the things that you must understand. And I know it's different concepts and different ideologies out there, but these are false. These are false. Anyone that's still preaching that we were slaves and that we came over here on the land of slave trade and shackles and everything else, this is false. And calling each other black and African American, this is false titles. We are called the Uply God Right Ones. That's who we are. I know it's different. It's different information, different guidance, but this is the truth. Spiritually, this is the truth. And I need for us to understand that this is the truth. You know? I know and understand that this is really, really important for us. But we got to change the narrative. We got to change the narrative. We can keep the flag, the red, the black, and the green. That's cool. But everything else is saying that we are African and saying that everything else, this is false. We was already in this land. We had to breed in with Africa because our bloodline, our civilization was dying off because of what? Our lands was being taken by force. So we had to breed in with them because we was dying off, right? We was beaten to read, right? We was beaten to speak English, and our way of life was wiped out. We was beaten to speak. This is an actual true fact. We was beaten to speak. We never talked because we was forbidden. At the time, it was forbidden to speak. Do you understand that? Did you ever heard speak when spoken to? It's an actual fact. When we spoke, it was telepathically. And then when we opened our mouth, everything in existence paid attention and took notes of what we were saying. And I need for us to understand that. But back into these plantations and prisons, I don't think you want to go in there, right? And let me show a video yesterday so you can see for yourself. Give me a second. You don't want to end up in there. You don't want to end up in there. Yep. Ain't nothing correction about that. Ain't nothing correction about that. That's an actually true fact. And I need for y'all guys to understand that. Yeah. There's nothing correction about that. Everything goes wrong when dealing with that. Yeah, everything goes wrong when you deal with that, you know? Ain't no correction with that. There's no correction with that. So, you know, your freedom is out here. You know, make a choice of what your freedom and what you're going to do in life that can bring a better you, a better beginning, you know? It's not over. It is not over, you know? You don't have to do a life of crime in order to get ahead. You can get it from the mud and, you know, from the beginning, from the soil. You are amazing, you are dope, and you have a lot to offer society, yourselves, and your community and your family to get it right. Ain't nothing correction about that. Nothing at all. I just wanted to say that to you. You know? And your guys stay blessed. Peace, y'all. Peace. Okay, I want to see that, right? Which was dope. And I'm gonna show another video. You know.
Correctional facility, about to go kick it with the bros. After that, we gonna go to mid-state. You know what I mean? If you never been in one of these joints, you ain't do nothing in life. You should just jump in the casket right now if that's your thoughts on life. You know what I mean? But yeah, we kicking it with the bros. We at Marcy right now. The best thing about being here is able to walk out the door after we finish talking to him. Then we going to mid-state after this. You know, keyboard gangsters, doing all that, talk a bunch of gibberish.
So, you know, big shout out to Jadakiss. Big shout out to him. Big shout out to the brother, you know. The fact that he said that if you never been there, you never been in no place like that, in these plantations, in these jails of concentration and camp, you ain't never do nothing in life. Right? That's the only thing that I disagree with. You don't want to end up in these places. You don't need to go in these places to prove that you hard, that you gangster, and that you can overcome pain and suffering and poverty by going into corrections in order to correct your behaviors in society, the things that you're doing. You don't need to do none of that. That's not true what he said. If you never been in one of those, you ain't do nothing in life. Good. And what life that we're talking? We're talking about the life that is procreated, this gangster persona life of murder, death, kill, barbaric, devil, demon, and life that teaches you how to hold guns, how to sell drugs, how to murder people, and how to murder each other and backdoor each other, which was taught amongst ABEL descendants, which did not let up, which taught individuals and gave people money, right, to keep us oppressed and depressed, to have us murdering each other and put a curse upon us, upon our eyes, mind, body, and soul. But I am here and other peoples are here to uplift this sick, barbaric devil demon away from us. One person at a time, one person at a time. Because if we save one person, then that person can save another person and save their family. And it's like we are saving the whole humanity. That's all right. And I want you to understand that. You don't have to go in these places to say you did something in life. Stay out of them places so that you can say that you did something in life. And what you did in life, you made the decision not to go in these sick, barbaric, devil, demon plantations and concentration camps called jail and prison. To actually true facts and end up in the why me pens. And you standing there, the judge is hitting you while you did these sick acts. You look around, nobody's not there. But this devil is in the back, lurking in the back in the shadows that you cannot see, laughing at you while you hit with 10 years. Stay out of these places. Do not become somebody else's bag. Do you feel me? Hear me? Do not become somebody else's bag. And what I mean by that, each person that go in there is 80 grand on your head. They get that to run those places. That's 80 grand. You get 3 square meals. You get a bed. They got commissary in there. They got TVs. They got everything else in there. Those are hotels. Those are hotels. Those are not prisons. They make it real comfortable for you so you can keep coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back. They make it real comfortable for you. Those not prisons or jails. Those are these concentration camps. Those are hotel stays. If people from other foreign countries come over and commit a crime, and they compare the jails over there and the prisons and over here, they said, I'll kill 1,000 people to stay here. This is beautiful. They give me more over here than my own country. I'm telling you. So it's gonna, the murder, death, kill is gonna go high. I want you to understand that. You don't need to go in these places to be corrected or have corrections upon your life. All you gotta do is correct your life out here and find motion and movement and find your purpose. You understand? And then contribute to it and add to it and multiply to your existence upon this earth. You understand that? I want you to understand that, brothers and sisters, kings and queens, ladies and gentlemen, prince and princess all around the world. And shout out to Jada Kiss, for going to see the bros that's locked up, for making these decisions, But the only thing I disagree with is that if you never been in there, you never do nothing in life. That's a lie. Keep that. That's right. I want you to understand that. So you guys have an amazing, amazing Saturday. Peace, y'all. Peace, peace. The beautiful queen right there. Peace, y'all.